at some point, just some seconds, we'll be able to, will be live, setting up, and it's going, gone. So we are live on YouTube now. Please, let's hear the profile of the author, that we can hear from the author's mouth about herself. Will be live, setting up, and it's going, gone. So we are, pardon that, there are two voices. Who's reading the author's profile for us?
Okay.
I'm the one. Good
Please.
evening, sir.
Good evening. Go ahead.
Okay. Awole Philippa Egbumoke is a distinguished educator whose professional journey showcases an impressive 2 decades of dedicated teaching experience. Her academic credentials are equally remarkable, with a Bachelor of Arts degree in Education specializing in history, a Master of Arts in History and Strategic Studies, and another Master of Arts degree in Education, with a focus on guidance and counseling. In addition to her extensive qualifications, she holds the distinction of being a Microsoft Certified Educator, which further emphasizes her commitment to intertwining technology with education. Presently, she serves as the head of the Social Science Department at the prestigious Lagoon School, where her leadership skills and vast knowledge significantly contribute to the academic development and growth of the institution. On a personal note, she shares a fulfilling and harmonious life with her spouse, Mr. Eloke Felix Egbumoke, and together they cherish the joys and responsibilities of raising their children. Her life is a testament to the values of education, family, and continuous self-improvement.
You are highly welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Good evening, everyone.
It's a pleasure seeing you, having you grace this evening reading session. I think we are very, very lucky and blessed to have you. Thank you, Mrs. Awole Philippa. I hope I called that rightly.
Yes, you did, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. I think we just go straight to the first segment, and then after that, after the little bit of reading, we have a pause to entertain questions, critiques, and remarks. So I believe we have a wonderful reading for us today.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am.
So delighted to be here with you people. Thank you so much.
From where are we? What book are you reading to us today?
Yes, I'm reading my book titled Milestones to Success.
Okay,
yes, it's a collection of history past questions for the Becker Basic Science, Basic Education for Junior Secondary School. As my profile says, I teach history, and I wrote a book for history students because no country can succeed without the students or the citizens knowing about their past. And this past will help them to avoid the mistake of the past so that they don't repeat it in the present. And it also will help them to predict the future. So my years of experience as a teacher at the Lagoon School made me to write this book, especially for my students and also for teachers who teach history too.
That's beautiful. Oh, I believe that we wanted to start from perhaps the first chapter of what we can't taking everything at a sitting, but we would like to get to hear the interesting parts. You know, you just have to give us a prelude of each wonderful parts of the book. So we should start. We'll read for about 10 minutes. You read for about 10 minutes, and then we'll entertain questions, critiques, and remarks. We can go ahead with the reading, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. As I said, Milestones to Success was born out of necessity for young historians, upcoming historians, because no country can succeed without past citizens, how young ones knowing about their past. And so I had to do a collection of questions based on the Nigerian curriculum for the junior secondary school. So Milestones to Success is like a collection of questions that have been done based on the topic of the Nigerian curriculum on history. So if we look at JSS1 curriculum of history, the first we have there is an introduction to history, because the children need to know what history is all about. And I usually teach them by saying that to prepare a pot of history, there are 3 basic ingredients that are needed. And what are those ingredients? You have the past, present, and future. Because you must know your past. And knowing your past, it will help you in the present and thereafter help you to predict the future. If not, you keep repeating the mistakes of the past. And so my students know that knowing history, knowing the definition of history, you have to know that there are 3 ingredients about it. And that brings me to a song we usually sing in class. History is the study of the past, relating to the present to predict the future. History is the study of the past, relating to the present to predict the future. So it gives them, it's a constant reminder that you must know your and your past will help you in your present, and your present will also help you to predict the future. And thereafter, we go on to look at why study, of what relevance is history to us. It will help you to know your origin. It will help you to avoid the mistakes of the past. It will help you to predict the future. It will help you to be a good citizen of Nigeria. And then we also go on to look at who are the history makers. When we talk about history makers are not just the historians. They're not just the historians. We have history makers, anthropologists, cryptographers, ethnographers. They are all regarded as history makers because in their own field, they contribute to making history. So we talk about the history makers. And then after looking at the history makers, we go on to look at the sources of history because history is based on evidence. And that is why history is different from storytelling. You can't tell a story or you can't tell history without evidence. The evidence must be there, and that's what makes it history. If not, it's just storytelling that you have told. So history is based on evidence. Any story that you cannot verify or does not have a proof, does not have a fact, is not regarded as a history. And so the students know that history is based on fact. And this is very important for them because it helps them to be critical thinkers. And that's where they end up coming out to be great lawyers, great diplomats, because they are critical in their thinking. They don't just listen to one side, they have to listen to both sides and then make their judgment. And so we look at the sources of history. For the junior level, they are divided into 3. We have the primary sources, we have the secondary sources, and then we have the tertiary sources. And then we give examples of each source of history. So when we talk about the primary source, that is the very foundation. The people who witnessed it, who were part of history, who saw it happen. We can't talk about the Nigerian Civil War without mentioning the actors who were involved in that war. The likes of our former president, President Olusegun Obasanjo, the likes of our former president, General Gowon. These were actors who saw it, who were involved in it. And so whatever version of story they tell us has evidence because they saw it. And that's what we call the eyewitness. They witnessed it, they saw it. And then we have other sources to we have in the primary source of history. Then going on to the secondary source of history, we are looking at those examples. They didn't witness it. They were wearing.
I was just about to say that we may have to even pause the authors so that I think you may have to change. Maybe can you reach out to her to change a network or to change the application? I think the network is not so strong where she is presently. So it's dragging our audio, it's not allowing us to hear clearly. So if you change network or you change your position to a stronger place where the network is pretty. But I think she's back with us now. So we'll carry on. Welcome back. Sorry about the network.
Yes, I'm back. Thank you, sir. Glad to be back.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Yeah, glad to be back. Thank you, ma'am. So, and then we look at the tertiary source of history, and that has to do with the contemporary examples. Now, with the social media, history is made. People now know what is happening in the world in a matter of seconds. People can join, people can comment, people can send information in a matter of seconds. And this is the aspect that we call the tertiary source of history. And then we move on to the next ways of assessing sources of history. How do we assess sources of history? We can assess sources of history by going to the museum, by going on excursion. For example, we take students on excursion to Badagry. And when they go there, they have the opportunity to see for themselves, to see the first story building, to see the well that the missionaries built there, the well that has been there for over 150 years, 150 years, and it still exists. And the water has never dried up. Is that not amazing? That is what history does for you. The evidence is there. You can see it for yourself. You can verify it. You can go to where it did happen to see it for yourself. And these are ways of assessing sources of history. We also have our festivals. We have the New Yam Festival. We have the Eyo Festival. These are all part of our history, and they are verifiable because when these festivals are done, we have our custodians, those who are the custodians of the culture. They're able to put us through, take us through memory lane, how it all started, the significance of these aspects of culture to us. And it helps the younger generation to appreciate what they have, to appreciate the culture that they have. And by so doing, we're able to pass it on to the next generation. And it never ends. It never ends because it keeps going on and on and on. And that's the beauty of history. That's what history does for us. It helps the next generation to know what did happen and how this can impact in their lives. Yes, so basically, this is just the first chapter of it. This is just for JSS1. Then we move on to JSS2.
Thank you, ma. I think we should just, thank you very much, ma. Because you've given us a lot to think about. I am so highly enlightened, you know. It's highly interesting and very engaging. It's like you shouldn't stop, because this is not just for the young at heart, but also for the old. And we are all part of history. And you see, to embrace the future, we have to learn from the past, you know. And it is more so in the environment where we are now. In Africa, you know, we need to go to the past so we will not fall into the mistake and the pothole of the past. It's very interesting. I think people have questions now, and I'm sure they want to say something. They want perhaps to ask questions, critique, or even make their remarks. One thing I find so interesting is the tertiary source of history. So when we see breaking news, breaking news on our TV, the social media, that is part of history and is a tertiary source, you know. And that happens often now. Even on CNN, on WhatsApp, say it's really happening now. We never had that. You know, we never had that. And it's so wonderful that somehow, because we are a wonderful creature, we have already given it a name and a segment. We've already, you know, manufactured and created a space for that. I'm sure other people have wonderful remarks. We'll just give others time to say something about what we've just heard from our wonderful author of today. Do we have any remarks? Do we have anything to say? Hello?
Okay, I mean, I have some questions penned down, but, you know, just listening to you talking, and I will say ask those questions, but that's not what I'm asking now. I want to know, what role does Google play as a source of history? Because Google is such a massive reference now, and we have other search engines, Bing, Yahoo. So what role do, because they actually archive, I mean, knowledge across the world, and they index them and they serve to the visitors. So what role do they play in history?
Thank you so much for the question, sir. Yes, Google as a source of history is classified under the tertiary source of history. And I tell you the truth that even though Google has so much to offer, but you also need to verify the information that comes from Google. Because, for example, let's take our Nigerian history. You and I know that Google cannot tell you about our Nigerian history more than we, the Nigerians. And so when you get an information from Google on Nigerian history, you need to verify it. You need to pick the aspects that you want. You need to pick the one that is relevant to you and then add it to the one that you already know. And so that is our job as historians. So what we do when we give our children assignments or research to do, and they go and research and come back, we verify, because they will also tell us where they got their information from. And so we look at it critically and then sieve out the one that we know is correct. And the one that is not correct, we leave it.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any other remarks? Let me say this, Ma. I think I find it quite interesting that history is also based on evidence and facts. Just like in law, when you want to prove a case or you have any defense or whatever substantial matter you have, you must support with real facts and evidence, verifiable facts. And that is very important. History is based on evidence. You know, it is not based on fables or on the hearsay. No, it has to happen. Thank you, ma'am.
True. You're welcome, ma'am. You're welcome.
In the absence of other remarks, I think we should get to the second segment because the time is not our friend, really. And we are really enjoying the read. Thank you, ma'am. I think we should go to the second segment. Yes, we have that for about 10 minutes too.
Okay.
We can go on, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. So we go to the second segment, and that segment is on that's the GESTO curriculum on history, and here we look at the Nigerian states. When we talk about Nigerian states in pre-colonial Nigeria, because we look at the pre-colonial, and when we say pre-colonial, it means before the colonial masters came. How were the people organizing themselves? How were the states ruling themselves? So just as the Eurocentric historians made us believe, they made us believe that Africa has no history. But that wasn't true, because even before they came, we were ruling ourselves. We had our own system of government. We had administration. We had the king, who was assisted by the Council of Elders and other officials. And this was before the Europeans came. So is a proof, is a testimony to show that Africa had history, that Africa was well organized when it came to administration. So in Genesis 2, we look at the centralized states, and we have quite a number of them that existed in pre-colonial Nigeria. For example, we talk about the Oyo Empire. We talk about the Benin Empire. We talk about the Hausa states. Hausa states because there were many. In fact, history tells us that the Hausa states were 14 of them. And that brings us to the Bayajida legend, the hero who founded the Hausa states. And it's believed that Daura is the ancestral home of the Yorubas, of the Hausas. Daura is the ancestral home of the Hausas. So Bayajida, who came from Baghdad, had a quarrel with his father, and he was traveling, and he got to a place. He was so thirsty, he needed to drink water. But unfortunately, there was only one well in that village. And it was a big snake that prevented. When the villagers told him, he was so upset. But thankfully, he had a sword. So what did he do? He quickly went to the well side, saw the snake, and cut off the head of the snake. And that was it. Henceforth, the people could fetch water. They were so happy. The queen of Daura, whose name was Daurama, was so happy and pleased with Bayajida. And in reward, Daurama
network. No, we can't hear.
That was how they gave birth to son.
Wow.
Bawu. And Bawu got
Wow.
married and had 7 sons, owners of the founders of the.
Wow. The network is fluctuating again. Wow.
We lost our author again to network. Sorry, I have to pause the recording.
Very interesting.
Sorry about that. Let's wait for her to join us back. Okay, she's back now.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. I'm back.
Yes, we lost you
sorry,
there.
the network.
Network,
yeah.
Okay.
Yes, so sorry. Network, yeah.
That was a very interesting story.
Thank you for having me back.
You're welcome.
Yes. So that's, yeah. So after having 7 legitimate sons who became the founders of the 7 legitimate states, he later had 7 illegitimate who were called Banza states. So those 7 illegitimate sons founded the 7 Banza states. And that is the story of the Hausa states.
Wow.
Okay, yes. So that is it for the centralized states. Then we also have that of Ile-Ife. Ile-Ife is believed to be the ancestral home of the Yorubas. It's also an interesting story of how, there are different versions, but there's one that talked about how Oduduwa was sent by Obatala to come to the world, to create the world. And he gave him some materials. And of course, he ascended, he descended to Ile-Ife. And Ile-Ife to date is regarded as the ancestral home of the Yorubas. In fact, it is regarded as the cradle of mankind. What that means is that mankind started, the existence of man started from Ile-Ife. Until date, you see that Ile-Ife holds a very important, plays an important role when it comes to religion, when it comes to culture of the Yorubas. And even not just in Nigeria, but in diaspora where you have the Yoruba descent. Okay, so that is it for the Ife culture. Then we also have the Benin centralized state too. It's a very popular saying that Benin has a great relationship with Ile-Ife because it is believed that one of the Ife prince in the person of Orominyo founded Benin. In short, Orominyo's son became the first Oba of Benin in the person of Oba Eweka. I'm sure we know the story of when the Benin people needed a ruler and they Ile-Ife to ask for an Ife tried his best. They rejected him because he was not from Benin. And so that made Orominyo to call the land Ile Binu, meaning land of vexation. And before he left, he got married to one of the Benin princesses and they had a son who became the first Oba of Benin. Until date, the descendant of Oba Eweka has been ruling Benin City. Has been ruling the Benin Kingdom till date. So that is another centralized state that we look at. We also look at the Igala Kingdom. We look at the Igala Kingdom. We look at the Nupe Kingdom. These are examples of centralized states. In short, it was believed that the Igala, the founder of Nupe Kingdom, his father was Igala, and his mom, for fear of being killed by his brother, and then stayed with his mother's people. And from there, he was able to help his mother's people, and they cherished his stay with them. And that made them to give him the kingship, and he became the king of Nupe. His name was Esode. Esode Egegi is regarded as the founder of the Nupe kingdom. So these are the topics we look at. Then going outside Nigeria, because history is not, we don't just learn about Nigerian history, we also learn about other states. So for example, we have the states of Ghana Empire. We talk about the Ghana Empire. We talk about the Mali Empire. We talk about the Songhai Empire. Because the fall of one empire led to the rise of another empire. So the fall of Ghana Empire led to the rise of a Mali Empire. And that was how it continued. So the children are able to appreciate this, that before the Europeans came, we had our own system of governance, which worked for us, which was so, so, so good and made us who we were. And so when we hear about monarchical system, democratic system, presidential system, parliamentary system of governments, these were systems that we operated even before the Europeans came to us. Okay, so is very interesting to know. And then we also look at the interrelationship among these states. They are all related. They are all related. For example, it is believed that one of the Oni of Ife, the mother was from Nupe, and that made them to have cordial relationship. In short, the Nupe people bought kolanut from Ife, while the Ife people bought while the Ife people bought horses from the Nupe people. So it brought about intergroup relations, which led to marriage, which led to trade interaction, which led to exchange of culture. And that is why the places you go to and you are amazed and say, how come that these people have similar culture? Is as a result of the intergroup relations that they had long time ago, many years ago, even before the Europeans came to Nigeria. So these are the topics that you find in the part 2, which covers the JSS2 topics.
Wow. Thank you very much, Ma. So insightful. Reminding us of our roots. In fact, from all, we could even say we are one, really. Probably blood relations, and then we'll still say, hey, this is Yoruba, you are Igbo, you are that, you are that. Wow, yeah. Thank you very much, Ma. And it's very, very interesting that we had our own system of governance. We had checks and balances, we had separation of powers, and everything was working for us, I believe my colleagues have remarks, questions. Ms. Shibuzo, you were raising your hands, ma'am. Shibuzo Hohakwe.
Yes, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, you're welcome, ma'am.
You well done, co-listeners, to this wonderful educative edition. I'm really very, very glad to be part of the whole structure. Well done. Mr. Bumoke Well done, ma. Really did a
Thank you
good,
so much.
good
Thank you.
professional job. Yes.
Thank you so much.
But I'm really
Thank
very happy because it's been a long while. And but I've also been wanting to say one or two things during your preliminary lecture when you started, when you mentioned about history, looking at culture, looking at our heritage. I was really excited, especially around this period. In fact, this lecture you're giving us today is welcomed in
Yeah,
the
very
sense
relevant.
it came at the right time, at a
Yes.
period when Nigeria just marked their independence. You understand? So it is really a reminiscent. It is really a kind of a flashback. It's a kind of flashback to me and to all of us great historians and great Nigerians and even those in diaspora, because history is very, very key. For you to do anything today, for you to know where you want to be tomorrow, you must surely know your roots. So thank you so much, because it actually reminded me of the rich cultural heritage which Nigeria has, and also how we passed through colonial rule and eventually became who we are today. So thank you so much. That has to do with the first phase of your lecture. Then moving forward, you also talked about this centralized kingdom. As a matter of fact, it also showcased our cultural heritage by making us to understand that there was an administrative system that was very, very successful even before the coming of the white people. Yes, Ms. Ebumoke, thank you so much for reminding us that. We really appreciate you. Give you more grace to your elbow. Thank you so much for coming
Thank you.
to enlighten us.
Amen.
I sincerely appreciate you. Thank you so much, ma'am. And to my co-listeners, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to air my view. Thank you. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. You're welcome, ma'am. Oh,
Thank you so much, Mr. Akwe. Thank you. We are both colleagues at the Lagoon School. And let me use
well,
this opportunity to say Happy Teachers' Day to all the teachers out there. God bless us all. We are all teachers, even those of us who are not in the classroom, we are still teachers. Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
thank you so much. Oh, we can't see your face. I think there's a light outage. Okay. I mean, this topic is highly relevant. And, in the days where our youth really exalt foreign cultures and, they imbibe foreign dressing and, discarding their own culture and heritage, they should be able to perceive that we have we have something more precious, something precious more than gold. Thank you very much, ma. Do we have other contributions? Do we have any other contribution?
Okay, well, I mean, if nobody is asking, I have a couple of, it's just a question, but before then, I'm really glad listening to this because it just reminded me of those days in the secondary school, some of those historical stuff that, were taught, just bringing back those memories, very beautiful memories about our history and the culture of our people across the different regions in Nigeria. So thanks for, regaling us with all this very historical stuff that helps us to appreciate our past. But I heard, that the government has scrapped history as part of the curriculum. I don't know how true that is, because I think history is just one subject that every student should learn while they're in school, irrespective of the class you are. Either you're in commercial class, you're in art class, or you are in science class. Because, just like you said, they help us to appreciate our past, understand our past, and know what is going on with our future, and then we can really make informed or intelligent prediction about our future, where we are going. But, is it true that the government has scrapped history from the school curriculum? I don't know how true that is, but I heard it.
No, the government has not scrapped history, because as we speak, history is being offered at the primary level and also at the secondary level. In fact, history is being offered at the junior secondary level and also as an elective at the senior secondary level. So in primary school, it is compulsory. Some schools have incorporated it into social studies, while some schools also incorporate as general knowledge. But some schools separated it. At the junior level, it is compulsory, so they have to do it and even write it at just 3 when they write their Becker exam. It's only at the senior level that it's elective, an elective subject level, and also at the junior secondary level.
Thank you for clarifying that. Then this is a more is a more technical question, if you indulge me. Just like when you defined history for us, and you also gave that overview. So you now, as a history expert, what are the past mistakes of Nigeria that you think we are actually also repeating presently? And
sorry, I didn't get the question well.
Okay, is it clear now? Can you hear me now?
A bit.
I'm asking about, you said history is actually the study of the past, so that we can understand our present and then predict the future. So as a Nigerian and as a history expert, what are the past mistakes of Nigeria that you see us repeating presently? And how do those bode towards our future as a people or as a country?
Yes, as a Nigerian and also as a historian, I see some events that happened in the past. I see them being repeated in the present. And if care is not taken, they may also occur in future. And what that means is that we have not learned from our past. The ethnic crisis that happened in 19 the ethnic crisis in our country.
Wow. Network.
Can you hear me? Okay, network.
Yeah, network problem. We can't hear clearly.
Okay, wow. I don't know if I should move away from where I am.
I think it's okay now. Presently, we can hear you.
Okay, oh, that's fine. That's fine. So we see a trend of it maybe happening in the future, and is a way of is dividing us the more. It's dividing us the more because what I see today is that we are beginning to be so tribalistic that we forget what unites us more and then look at what divides us. And that was not the way it started. Because if our forefathers or the nationalists who fought for our independence, if they didn't unite, then we wouldn't have gotten our independence in 1960. But we see today that we're beginning to look at our tribe, ethnicity, instead of one Nigeria, which shouldn't be. So this is something that we need to watch. We need to watch out. If care is not taken, it's going to affect our children. We now see that even we as adults, we see more of our differences rather than our unity. And if we don't manage this well, it will affect our children. It will affect our children. And what generation of children are we going to leave behind? What will become of Nigeria if this continues? So it's something that we really, when I see it, I weep. Because growing up, this was not what we had. We were used to having friends from different tribes, irrespective of religion or where you come from. But today we are seeing a trend of our leaders making us to feel that, no, we should not like ourselves. And I don't think this is nice. I don't think we should accept it. So let's see what unites us more than what divides us. Wow. So we really need to watch it very, very well.
Wow. Wow, that's well said. Wow. Wow. We can't hear you.
Sorry about that. I think with the network again is affecting.
Very interesting topic. Yeah.
I see.
Wow. Wow. Not clear at all. Wow.
Well, it's been a day. I don't know if any other person has any question or the other things that we can.
Well, I don't have any question, just that the NYSC kind of came to my mind, you know. People will love to go to other places to serve, but today, no. You want to be where your parents are. You want to stay in Lagos. You want to stay in Ogun State, where your families are. You don't want to venture out to Aba or to Kano or to, you know, because of the unrest all over. And then you know that when you are not you are not of the same tribe with where you're going, you feel your life is in danger. It never used to be like that. When I served, I'm from Oshu, live in Lagos. I served in Aba, you know. But today, I will not allow my child to serve in Aba. That is the fact, just because of the insecurity. And that is because of the ethnic crisis.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ma. I think we are not connecting with her presently. So do we still have time for
we can take one more reading, but if network even permits now it's network that is the main challenge, not time now. Because
that's an insightful,
so strong,
interesting topic. Wow.
But she's back here, but I don't know how strong the network can carry.
Wow.
Wonderful reading. I don't know if anybody has any questions for her so that we can take questions. or comments. I see that somebody dropped a comment in the chat box.
Okay.
I don't know if
Yeah. Okay. Can I read?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It says emergence of, he Joseph says emergence of bad leaders, sectionalism. Then we keep voting bad leaders to offices. Buhari shouldn't have emerged as a leader. The fact that he truncated the democratically elected regime, Nigeria forgot that. Are you back, ma? Oh, okay. You're welcome, ma. The network is exceptionally bad
Yes, I'm
today.
back.
Okay. I don't know if we have time for
I really
more.
apologize for this network.
Yes.
So sorry.
No, I think it's the network. it's like a, can we say hand of God now? I don't think so. Hand of man. Do we have any remarks or questions for our honorable author of today? Do we have time for a third segment, sir?
So maybe we can just take a third round since nobody's asking questions.
Okay.
And then
Ma'am, let's have a
conclude.
third round, ma'am. Maybe 8 minutes so we can just round off. You are on, ma.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow. Here we go again.
Looking at the part of the book. Hello, can you hear me?
No, we can hear you, but the network is still shaky.
The network, okay. Is it better now?
Wow. Well,
is it better? Is it better
now? We can hear you.
It
Just
keeps
it's a
coming
bit
and
delayed,
going.
but we still
Fluctuating.
just continue. Let's see how long it carries us.
Is it better? Is it better now?
It's okay.
Okay. I was
It
thinking
better.
maybe I should change my network. Is it better now?
Maybe that could help. Yes.
So sorry, before I go to the third, okay. Before I go to the third segment, I forgot to also mention that in the year 2 curriculum in the book, you also have the non-centralized states, because not all the states in Nigeria were centralized. So they were the non-centralized states. And so what makes them non-centralized? They were non-centralized because they didn't have a single leader. They were the states that were in a system of government.
Wow. This is serious.
Network problem. I think. I think we can just try to round off at this point because sometimes the network will not allow us to enjoy the third round of grading. So,
but we would like to know how to get in touch with us so we could
to obtain the book.
Have copies of the book.
Yes.
And that is very important.
Okay. Maybe when she comes, we'll be able to, or maybe we can, for those of us who are not in the LRF forum, please try and join the forum. It's a WhatsApp group, so you can be able to get more information about how to obtain the book from the author or from whatever channel. I mean, you can easily access it from. So I think the author is back. So the question has been, okay, how do we get a book if you want to? How can readers lay their hands on this book if you want to buy a copy for the library? I don't know if the author is able to talk now. Or otherwise, please check the chat box, and then there's a link that was dropped there. You can just click on that link. It takes you to the LRF forum where you can be part of our events, and then so that you can you also get to know about where you can pick this book from if you really want to buy a copy for yourself or for your library. Ma'am, you have the mic now as we round off the meeting.
Okay. Thank you for joining us. We are grateful for having you. This is a Literary Renaissance Foundation, and our author, the network has been fluctuating, so we could not even get the last word from our erudite author, and Philippa Egbuoboke. So we thank you for joining us today, and we hope that you join us next time. Over to you, sir, Mr. Oladile.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for helping us to coordinate it all today. Thanks to everybody for making it. We have another program we are hosting next week, Saturday. That happens once in a quarter. Is tagged the Reading Culture Dialogue. And that is a forum where we bring stakeholders from across the Nigerian education and learning environments together to come and talk about issues that are affecting the quality of education in our country, issues that are affecting access to education. And the topic we are discussing next week is titled, How Do We Preserve Academic Integrity in this Era of Artificial Intelligence? And we already have experts across sectors coming to talk to us, coming to share their experiences with us. But also we invite everybody, because it's actually civic engagement is for every citizen to be able to participate in. So we look forward to having you guys join us next week, Saturday, and I think that starts by 4 p.m. So if you join the LRF forum, you'll be able to get more details about that event, and you can join us to come and share your own opinion. How does AI affect education? How does it improve it? Does it degrade it? I mean, can there be a hybrid of a sort where we get the best of it and then we remove the worst elements of it? So it's going to be a very interesting discussion next week when we meet for LRF quarterly Reading Culture Dialogue. The author is back now. Thank you very much for reading from your works to us today. We really, really enjoyed it. I personally, because I love history, I personally have a very refreshing time listening to some of those things. When we started talking about the Hausa Banzas, Hausa Bokwais, and I was like, wow, these are things we had then, in secondary school. So thank you so much for sharing your work with us today. Ouch, I think we lost the author again. I was just about to ask where we can get the book, but unfortunately, I think network still did its own magic. So I think on that note, we'll just try and round off today and conclude this session. Hopefully, the author will give us information about where we can get the book, and we'll share that in the forum for everybody to be able to access. So on behalf of the Board of Trustees and the Management Board for LRF, I want to say thank you to all of you for joining us. Thank you for staying with us till this very end of the reading for today. We look forward to seeing you again next month. We'll be having another author coming to read to us from their works. And we hope that network will complete better that next month. This holds every first Sunday of the month, and we look forward to seeing you there. So from Tito Rocky, I want to say thanks for joining and have a wonderful and